And then finally, why are we doing this? We're doing this because we know that these students often experience the worst of summer slide. We also know that they are hesitant readers and writers, and so we really want to provide them with a different gateway to access literacy, again, that they may not normally have. We have had over 300,000 hours of literacy last summer with our students across the state, and that is reading, writing, and doing experiments, nature walks. However, educators decided that they were going to bring in experience to literacy, and that 300,000 does not include the time that students were engaged in learning on field trips. So this number is actually a lot higher. And then finally, one important thing about our students that we are recruiting is they often have chronic absentee issues during the school year. And so we were really excited to see that 73% of our students attended 13 days or more. And the average camp time is 19 days, so we were really excited to see this metric. It's something that we're working on to improve even more this year, but as a year one baseline, essentially, we were very excited. Last year, we served over 6,300 students, and this coming year, we anticipate over 7,700, so we've done another pretty big expansion. And then just quickly wanted to touch on, okay, this is great, you're providing experiences, but what does that translate to in terms of results? We used a running record, so every student that participated in a camp did a running record pre and post. And what we found was that not only did we prevent summer slide, we saw an increase in both accuracy and comprehension. It's really important that these two things go up together, because if you are improving on accuracy, but you're going down in comprehension, that means that students really aren't learning to read, they're learning to sound out words. Mm-hmm. So we were excited to see that both of these went up together, and although they are small increases, they are statistically significant, and they were done over 20 days. And then another thing that I alluded to earlier was the motivation piece, which is something that we really strive to include. And often teachers will do what they're measured on, and so we made sure that there was a motivation measurement component. And we saw that overall, students were more motivated to read at the end of camp than when they began. And actually, we think that our results here are bigger than what the data shows, because we think that there's actually an artificially high baseline, just anecdotally, on what teachers have told us. So we in Tennessee have students that are more motivated to read. We've heard that teachers love the PD, and this has really inspired their teaching. And then we're really inspired at the State Department about the number of people that have said, this is not a Department of Education issue, this is an equity issue, this is an issue that all of us really need to rally around if we're going to make any movement. Just a little bit of history about the summer grant. When we had our Read to Be Ready event back in 2016, which basically was our signal to the world that Tennessee cares about literacy and we are putting a stake in the ground that this is where we're going to invest, we also announced that we received a $1 million investment from the Dollar General Literacy Foundation to fund summer learning camps for students. This was a really exciting partnership because they saw that the legislature was coming forward and saying, this is important, we're gonna fund this for 3 years. How can we do our part as a private partner to help further your cause? So they did. They gave us $1 million over 3 years, and during that first year of the grant program, we used about $500,000 of it to fund 12 camps across the state. And I'm about to talk about what these camps are, but just for some context. After that list of 12 was released to the public, we actually had the Department of Economic and Community Development come forward and say, you all are doing great things with these camps. However, you've accidentally left out some of our distressed counties. And so we want to give you all money to help fund in some of our most needy communities. Because one thing that we found during the first trial run of the grant program was that those that often wrote the best applications were not those that had the highest need. So they really helped us address that gap. After our first year, we got some data that was very promising, and it caught the attention of the Department of Human Services, who does TANF in our state. That's what we call them. They basically came forward and said, you all are serving the same students and families that we're serving, and you're serving them with an expertise that we don't have and we don't want to have. So we are going to invest, originally it was $10 million into your program to help expand it to reach more families. They later came back and said, we actually want to take a multi-year approach. We're going to invest $30 million into this program so you all can expand it. I almost fainted. It's fine. So we took an $800,000 program in December and we expanded it over $9 million in less than 6 months. It can be done. And so in our second year of the program, we ended up giving over $7.4 million directly to school districts. So we didn't give it all away because it was such a massive scale up so quickly, but we gave away most of it. And this year we actually awarded almost $8.9 million.